Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I'm the Gnarly Gnome. Welcome to whatever show this is. This is not like a normal podcast. This is a last-minute, spur-of-the-moment, a breaking news brief. I don't know. I'm getting some kind of really strange flashback to 2020 and the stuff that happened in March of 2020. I'm not feeling good about it. Governor Mike DeWine has issued an executive order that has banned the sale of all hemp-derived THC products, which this is a drinking show or a drinking channel or a drinking platform. You may be wondering how that affects any of this that I do, because THC seltzers, hemp-derived THC seltzers, are a huge category, a very new thing, but a big thing. And I've been working on a couple different projects in that realm that are not done yet. And this definitely kind of changes how all of that looks right now. It's temporary. In theory, I don't trust anything anymore. I'm feeling not good about it, and I needed to talk to somebody. I need to talk to somebody. So I reached out to Bobby Slattery from 50 West, who makes Sunflower, local THC beverage, and we got to talk about it. So I made this show just to talk about this and try to figure out what's going on and how it's going to affect all of this. I'm talking too much. Let's get into this and figure out how it all shapes up. Bobby, welcome to the show. It's number one, it's great to see your face, great to talk to you. I wish it was happier.
It's not bad. No.
It could be better.
Yeah, it depends on. I mean, look, I'm a big believer that life's a choice, and it's your decision what you make of it. So for me, this is what I do. Like this is my favorite part of my job is the challenges that you get faced with, and then trying to figure out how do you do it. So sure. I wouldn't say, to be honest, I'd rather have a day like today than the days when I come in and I'm like, oh my God, do I even serve any point in this company? Like, is there any for me to be here today?
Well, and I, probably the last time we talked on one of my episodes was probably pretty quickly, either during or in the after COVID. I don't even know how you put some kind of time frame on COVID, but it was probably about the time that the burger bar was kind of opening and kind of kicking into gear, and it was a very similar conversation where it was like shit happened. It wasn't the way we wanted things to happen, but you adapt, you change. And you figure out a way to make it work. And I think that's one of the things that I love so much about craft beer is like this nimble kind of, look, we don't know what tomorrow's going to look like. We don't know what people are going to be drinking, what the government's going to do to us. But you adapt, you change, and you figure out a way to make it work. And I'm feeling a little bit of that same thing today. This feels, to me, similar to how I felt on March 15th of 2020, where things were getting shut down and people didn't know what that meant or how long it was actually going to last or what was going to happen afterwards. I'm curious we should start and tell people what's going on, I guess. There's probably still a lot of people that are in the dark about all of this and don't know what is happening because it is still fresh. As of when people are listening to this, just yesterday, the governor signed an executive order that has determined that people are not allowed to sell hemp-derived THC products anymore. Is that the easiest way to put it?
Yeah. So just full transparency. Let's be honest here. I'm just a person sitting in my basement right now, telling you.
Me too.
All this out today. So if I misquote something, if I'm off by a little bit, just remember, this is all brand as new as it is to. It's one of the fun parts about business. I think that I don't know if people think you get a secret note sent to you or something along those lines. I found out just like everybody else maybe a little more heads up that something might be happening, but I didn't know what the technicalities are. So what happened today was Governor DeWine issued an executive order. I wish I would have spent more time in studying in social studies class in high school, because a lot of this stuff I'm learning along the way, and wish I would have been a better student growing up. But executive order pretty much means he just made the decision himself.
Yeah.
So it wasn't decided by our people. It wasn't decided by a group of politicians. He came in and said that the state was in an emergency, and that he had to take extreme actions and put an executive order into place banning what we're calling intoxicating hemp. So that's THC. Intoxicating hemp is hemp. I don't even know. I can't tell you what it is. I think that's going to be up for interpretation here coming out in the next couple of days. But it's essentially products that are derived from hemp that have THC in them. So
keep in mind, and this is me saying this. This is a state, Ohio, where the people have decided that they wanted recreational THC to be legal. That was voted in by the people, and it exists, and that's not going away. You can still go to a state-run dispensary, not state-run, I guess state-run, state-licensed dispensary, and still buy THC products. This is the wider market of hemp-derived THC, which all right, let's put everything out into the open here. Some kind of regulation needs to happen, and I think everybody agrees with that. Out of all of the places that I've interacted with that are producing or selling or distributing THC, you guys have been the most vocal about that there needs to be some kind of either self-regulation or actual state regulation on THC. It should not be just Wild West where anybody can buy it anywhere, which technically right now there is no law that governs how people have to sell it, or how people have to buy it, or who can buy it, or where they can buy it. That doesn't exist. So something needs to happen. I feel, again, me saying this, that this is an incredible overreach by the government to do something to get that to happen. I was trying to explain all of this to my wife from my very limited understanding of how it's all working. And we have a little local shop here in town. Shout out to Butter Buds in Fairfield. Little fun. It's not a dispensary. It's just a little store that sells a lot of hemp-derived THC products, including sunflower. And we love them, and they're great people. And if this goes 90 days, I don't know how you do that. Look, my business that I run is very inefficient and terrible. I couldn't survive 90 days without generating money. I couldn't do it. And so I don't know how a business like that survives something like this. It's terrifying for me to think about as a business owner, how somebody just comes in one day and says, everything you do, you can't do right now. You got to figure something else out. Like that's terrifying. And I think it feels like an overreach to me.
Circle back a little bit, because I don't know if everybody understands hemp-derived THC, where it came from, why we're allowed to do it. This term Wild West gets thrown out a lot, and I think it's for me, having gone through that licensing process, and our team. Shout out to Max Fram. Max has been on the show many times, but Max did astronomical amount of work to be able to get us licensed for a hemp-derived THC license. So 2018, they passed a hemp bill that allowed this to happen. Right. So it's federally legal. So according to the federal government, hemp-derived THC is legal and can be sold. So that's where this started. What's happened over time is, I think we're a big fan of regulation for this product, and there's been several bills that have been going through the Senate and the House, trying to put some what we would call fair regulation around these. So for my personal opinion on this, here, if there was ever a day I needed one of these, it was probably, for us, when we're looking at our sunflower product, one of the things that we find important, and I don't know if you can see this on the can, but it's got the 21 and up label on there. We don't sell it to anyone 21 or older. We believe that this product should be regulated similar to alcohol, because really what we've seen in the marketplace is consumers are shifting. They're shifting away to alcohol into this product. So what they're saying is the biggest movement we've seen is sort of that begrudging happy hour you have to go to, where you're like, look, I got to go have one beer, and
Right.
having one beer, whether it be because it's after your kid's sporting event, or we've seen a lot in our running groups. So they're shifting over on that side. So pretty simple to me. What I'd like to see is I'd like to see them age gated at 21 and up. Okay. I think you follow liquor laws. So if you have a D license, bars, restaurants, whatever, they could be covered. Maybe we need to ask them to file for an additional license to carry this. It brings in some income, something along those lines. I'd be totally in favor of that. The other piece is where do we put the cap on this? So do I believe, like for us, this 5 milligram product, this is not the same thing as a 100 milligram gummy. So I personally believe that we should find a realistic cap that we can put it on, and those products can go through the traditional channels of grocery and restaurants, and gas stations and shops out there that want it. So that's kind of where, and then taxation is the last piece. The taxation they put in this bill was ridiculous. They tried to tax it like essentially, in a beer, we would like to see it similar to tax to beer. They're treating this drink as if it was like 16 ounces of straight vodka, which those are two completely different things. So, that's the regulation we'd like to see. There's been some bills put up cross that were really weak that ultimately could have crushed the category. And so I think that's where it's getting stuck in the House, is they can't come to commonality and they can't come to agreement. So that's why we call it this Wild West.
It seems so simple to me that we've spent how long, and not that the regulation around alcohol is simple or easy or really figured out. There's still lots of problems in that realm too, but we've got it pretty well figured out that people understand how this whole alcohol thing runs. And it seems like this would fit right into that. Just like if it's higher than a certain point, it's treated like liquor, the same way that you have to go to a liquor store to get your liquor. You would go there.
You go to get the higher dose.
It just seems so simple, and I feel like it's some kind of weird politics that's just holding everything up, and that people are butting heads. And then now you've got somebody coming in here and just slapping something on the table and being like, you know what, fine, you can't get it at all. And it just ignores how many small businesses that are out there right now that this is a lifeblood for them. This is like you mentioned, a lot of people are shifting their drinking into that. I still drink beer. I still drink a lot of beer. I'm not drinking a lot of weed water, but I appreciate weed water. I consume weed water sometimes. I know lots of people that is their primary thing that they are drinking. And,
well, I mean, whatever you're like, here's the thing with drinking that everybody needs to think about. Or it's all about occasion. That's what we're really trying to define, is what is the occasion. So, I mean, even if you're dedicated to beer, you love beer, but I guarantee you the style of beers you're drinking are based on occasion.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Depending on, you know what I mean? You're flipping based on what event you're going to, or what mood you're in, or how the temperature is. And so this is just what's happening is consumers are getting more and more advanced. And so they're having more demands as far as the occasions they wanted to find. And that's where this whole category really came along. So one other thing I do want to clear up is when we talk about this Wild West, one of the most, I think, frustrating things for us is this category is so heavily. Oh, is this doing thumbs down? Because I did.
It does. Yeah.
I was like, whoa.
You can turn it.
Booing me?
You can you can turn it off somehow. Your computer does it.
Sorry. I was like,
for a very short period of time, it was a drinking game on my live show before I figured out how to turn it off. Like, you can do different ones, and it would shoot off fireworks and stuff, and I could never figure out why it was happening. Yeah.
But back to it. One of the most interesting things about this category is, I don't know if people know this, but when you release a beer out there, you do not have to test the ABV before you release it. We make it, we run all the calculations, and we know that we're in spec. But there's nobody testing that ABV before we can release it into the market. With these beverages, we have to get these things scientifically tested by labs and we have to send in the approval before we can send it out to market. Like it is heavily regulated. There's a lot of oversight here by the Department of Agriculture to make sure that we're in compliance. And so this idea that these products are just like willy nilly, somebody just made them like in their basement is kind of an outlet. Like,
the For me, I've never been a big weed guy, a big THC guy. But this whole like product category, products like Sunflower and Castallo and Astasi has 100% changed my relationship with THC. It has given me like this product that I can pick up off of a shelf. I know exactly how it's going to affect me. I know exactly how much I'm consuming at any given moment, and it's made it an enjoyable product for me where that never existed before. Even with gummies and things like that coming from a dispensary, I never really could figure out how it was going to affect me. And these it's different, and I think that people are figuring that out. And it feels like just as people are figuring it out, there's some big brother coming in and being like, you know what, you guys are having too much fun. Let's stop this now. It's
yeah,
like,
I mean,
it just feels so. It feels so wrong to me.
right.
And
It's a tough one. Yeah. The other thing when we talk about these, what's fascinating for me is it's really the journey. Like it helps me understand alcohol better, but like what we're really talking about is beverage. Like
Yeah.
we're talking about beverage, and beverage is social. That's what people like about this. So when I look at this product, like it falls somewhere between, if alcohol is here and NA product is here, it's kind of in this middle ground.
Yeah.
It's a lot of people that are using this because they're like, you know what, maybe I want a non-alcoholic beer, but you know what, I want the calories to be lower, or I do feel like
I want it to
something.
taste good.
Yeah, or I want, yeah. So they're looking at sort of that middle ground is why they're using this product, and it really brings back, it's beverage, and beverage is about socialization and bringing us together. I don't know why that is. I can't tell you why it feels weird to just stand around and chew gummies together, but like that doesn't feel social. But
Right.
the act of beverage and drinking is something that it's innate in us. And I think that's what's really shined through in this category is like it's beverage coming through in an occasion yet again, and it's this new occasion that the consumers have found. And what I think the government's going to be very intrigued to see is like this is a very large market. This is not. This is like my wife is a perfect example of this. Non-THC user her entire life, like no interest in it, whatever. She drinks one of these almost every night while she watches Netflix. And it's almost part of it is she likes how it tastes. Part of it, she likes how it kind of takes the edge off. And part of it, she likes that like she goes to bed in the morning and it doesn't affect her sleep the same way alcohol can.
Right.
And so there's a lot of people out there. I would say the majority of people using these it's not your traditional marijuana user. It's a lot of these people they're actually people moving away from the alcohol segment for whatever reason. And they're like, hey, this is a nice replacement that I can use. And I figured it out. So now that it's being, with the governor issuing an executive order because of like public health and safety, for us, it's kind of like, hey, there's a whole lot of Ohioans using this to like for their benefit, not to heal their arthritis or do anything like that, just simply using it as a responsible social occasion, which is, it's really ironic if that makes any sense.
But I mean, even if we want to like talk about the health side of it, like not that any beverage is a healthy thing. Like I don't think we can say that, but like there are plenty of people that I know that would have never even dreamed of getting some kind of medical card and going that road with THC or going to a dispensary once it was recreational. No, they wouldn't have touched that at all. They would have never dreamed of doing that. But when there's this product that they can go to their favorite liquor store or their favorite grocery store or their gas station or whatever and pick it up and they try it and it helps them sleep or it helps some kind of aches and pains, whether again, no medical claims here, but like I know people that are like, yeah, like it helps me sleep or it helps me feel better or
getting back to the sleep real quick, because I'm a big advocate of this. I got my stupid watch on. I'm a big like I'm constantly watching, and one of the things you'll see with alcohol is it's disruptive to your sleep patterns.
Oh, it's terrible.
it
It
doesn't.
is terrible. I
You may not notice
love
it,
beer, and it's
but
terrible.
well, it's not. Well, I guess what that means is like, my sleep gets tracked, and if I have a couple beers and I go to bed, and even if I get 8 or 9 hours, it'll still come back, and then it'll be like, okay. And so it's not necessarily that these products help you go to bed. It's just it's product that you can be social with
Yeah,
that doesn't interfere with that sleep pattern later. So it's not like helping you go to bed.
sure.
It's really, there's an incredible book out there, Peter Thiel, called Outlive, which is, it talks a lot about the importance of a lot of different health things, and sleep is one of them. And so I think that's really, when we talk about sleep here, I think that's what people are finding, is it, like, it helps them just recover and be ready in the morning. So sorry, I like to
No,
clarify
it's
these things because there's a lot of opinions on this, and I think one of the things that would be helpful in helping these laws get formed better is just for our politicians to understand better what these products, what they do, who's drinking them, why they're drinking them. I feel like Ohioans like, we've seen it within our own sales and the own growth of this category, and the jobs and the people we've hired and all those things. Like, Ohioans are responding to this category in a very positive way, and it's something that they want. It's something they'd like to see. And so the next step with this is, how do we provide it in a responsible framework? So the worst thing that can happen is somebody goes and picks up a 100 milligram, THC drink for the
right.
first time, not knowing what they're doing, drinks it, and that's an entirely different occasion that they just experienced. And so, that's where I think these next steps are, is making sure that they don't ban these things from bars and restaurants, because that's where people learn about these
Right.
products, right?
Well, and there are so many people that are foregoing alcohol for something else, and a lot of that is THC. And to remove that from bars completely, I think would be devastating to the bar category too. Like, I was one of those people that when I first started seeing these pop up, I was like, oh, this is interesting, but nobody's going to be drinking it on premise. Like, you're not going to see people walking up to a bar and ordering this and then sitting down and drinking it. I would have bet a ton of money that we would not see that. And
Well,
then as
no,
soon as
no.
that first time I was sitting there and I was watching both at 50 West and at Urban, and I started watching. I'm like, oh my god, like, there's a lot of people that are just like, they're just getting this and just sitting and hanging out and having one or two of these and like just enjoying themselves. Like,
Yeah,
this is
yeah.
not the product that I thought it was going to be, and
No,
it
no.
completely changed. It changed my opinion about THC
Here's the other
completely.
thing that on the bars and restaurants, and we can relate this back to craft beer, because this, for me, and we've said this a million times, I never in my life thought that I was going to see another craft beer revolution. Like, I just was like, I
Yeah,
saw it. I was right at the front of it. 2012, I was there educating people about what a goza was, and how a beer could possibly taste like coffee, and all those. It was such a crazy fun time. And I think when you talk about the on premise, I mean, no, you learn beer, like, most of us got educated going to bars and
yeah,
trying the different styles, because you don't want to just walk in and buy a 6 pack of Goza for the first time, sit at your house and make that decision whether you like it or not, right?
right.
Maybe you did it, but you probably learned by sitting there and going, you know what? I'll take a flyer on this. And you ask the bartender, and they say, you know what, this is selling pretty well, and these are the people that are drinking it, and this is the flavor profile that you might have. Like, that's the thing I think we take for granted, is like, the people working inside those bars and restaurants really become experts on these products, not necessarily because they get trained amazing by their manager, or because, like, most of the time it's because of exposure and conversation with customers. It's just they talk and they can see and they know that, we saw it when we first opened, that the moms that were coming over from Terrace Park that said they wouldn't drink dark beer, as soon as they figured out that coffee please like they were getting at Starbucks, all of a sudden they were like, my favorite's coffee please, right?
Right.
Like, so
Uh,
anyhow, it's
what happens from here? Like, do you anticipate that this is going to go the full, what is it, 90 days?
yeah. So yeah, I mean, I have to anticipate what the governor enacted. I think here's how this is going to work. I think, and I'm making some speculation here, but
Right.
I believe that action was taken in an effort to force some conversation happening at the legislative level. And if you look at that, the policy that was written, it says that this is in effect. Either, I think it's 60 or 90 days. I don't know the exact total to it. There are limitations on that, by the way. During COVID, the Ohio government put regulations in there that basically said, hey, if there's an executive order, you can do it for 60 days, but after 60 days, we can come in and override you. Like right. You can act like a king and come in and put in something that we have no say over. So that's in place. I think what really is going on here is he wants them to take these bills seriously. He wants the two different parties that are debating over this in the House right now to come up with agreeable terms. And so we come out with some sort of, age restrictions, or there's something there. So from my standpoint, what I see and the way that I can help and the way you can help is to contact your congressman or your local politicians and tell them what you want to see. Tell them who you are, what you're drinking. And I know it sounds crazy and people tell you this all the time, but you'd be shocked. Like, they look at that stuff and it matters and it helps move things. And so reaching out to those politicians and telling them what you want, that's going to help shape that conversation at the state level. So if we get to the end of the 60 days and there's no resolution at the House, it's just all comes back again.
Right.
I mean, he maybe tries to file another one, but I think that they're likely, if they can't come up with an agreement, I don't believe that I don't believe that the House is I don't think this is a popular thing that was done. I think there's going to be a lot of, hey, that was a very bold move. There could have been other actions taken, and you put a lot of people in harm's way. I mean, we're in harm's way with this. We just hired a ton of people because of the growth. This year, we have seen the largest decline in craft beer in the history of 50 West, and we are going to make more product. We will make more total barrelage this year than we ever have before.
That's nuts.
In a time when, like, go online and try to find a brewer job right now, and it's harder than ever before. We're out there hiring people and bringing in people to, come work. And we did this, and now all of a sudden it's like, okay, like, we just hired a bunch of salespeople. What are they supposed to sell? Right. What are we supposed to do with them? So, we're resilient. And I think anybody that's ever worked for 50 West, hopefully they know, like, we love storms. Like, bring it on. Like, that's one of my, I don't know if you know Simon Sinek, but the idea of a why statement, mine is optimistically embrace challenges to create opportunities for other people. Like, that is me. That is why I come to work every day. That's who I am as a person. So when you throw a challenge in here, for me, it's like, all right, we can sit here and cry about it. That's all we want, but let's find the positives we can make out of it. And let's go find some hope for others, because I do think that there's a rainbow at the end of this. Like, this is a little storm, but, like, there's a big rainbow right around the corner. And I think I read a lot. Well, it's debatable. I actually listen to books, but in the history of people that run businesses or people that make things happen, these types of things usually lead to, quote unquote success, or lead to the good that's in the future. So while it might look bad right now, I really think that there's some massive opportunity around the corner. And I think that's what we need to be excited about. Now, what we need to do is figure out, how do we get these people talking so that, we're the people of Ohio have already spoken. Like, right. We wouldn't be selling crazy product like this, and that's not going to go away. These people are not just these people that change their lifestyle. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but how many people have tried to quit drinking alcohol before? It's not a easy process. It's one of those things that you miss it. You're like, I want it back. And so there's some people that have used this as a replacement, and now they're stuck in a spot where they're like, what am I supposed to do? I did this for health purposes. I did this, and I found an occasion in my life that I liked. And now, because of, XYZ rule, I'm just stuck. And, I can't find an enjoyable beverage that I thought had been the solution to the occasion that I was looking for.
You've made me feel a lot better about this. You're way more positive about it than I am.
Yeah,
I'm like, I need to chain myself to, like, a light post somewhere or something and prove a point. I've been so, like, angry about this. Like, and maybe it's like, it's weird flashbacks to 2020 and, like, everything that happened then and how it happened.
Order.
I don't like any of this, and, like, but
no.
you've made me feel like the positivity that you've got about it makes me feel good.
Well, I feel the executive order thing. To me, it's just like, whoa. I mean, as a small, I'm a small business owner. You just put you want to talk about a curveball.
Yeah.
Like, just how I found out about it, I got it probably Monday. I got word like, hey, this is happening. I'm like, what? Like, how could this happen so fast? And we got people, we got families, we got to worry about.
Yeah.
So the executive order thing, I think that's the piece that is a little frustrating to me. But I do think that people act. I do believe that everybody acts. They believe in something, and there's a best interest here. And I think that the governor, even though I might not agree with the way he went about this, I think that what he's trying to achieve, I do believe that's going to lead to a positive place. Maybe it's not the place that he wants it, but I think that it might be a place that the Ohioans want, and it's forcing that conversation, and it's helping us get there. And I think that's what we need to embrace. So like, this is your time to act. There's only so many, when big things like this happen, this is like a moment in history. We were in work today and everybody was like, what this is a real work day. This isn't come in and be like,
Right.
all right, I'm here and we got to get, it was like, whoa, stuff's happening and we don't know what's going to happen. So yeah, that's how I feel about it,
Yeah, I appreciate you having this conversation because it's definitely made me feel a little more stable about where things are and where they're going. For anybody that's listening to this, write to your congressman. Tell people that you're not happy about this. Go out to whatever local spot that you've got. Go to the smallest place that has some kind of beverage that you enjoy and go buy it. Buy as much as they have. Get it all. Bring it into your house. And
you guys till
support
Tuesday.
the places you love.
And that's really, there are retail partners. I mean, everybody's in a tough spot. So they're going out and buying that product for them does really help because they don't know what to do with it. They're going to likely call us and tell us, hey, can you take this back? And we're doing that right now. I don't know how, it's scary. I'm trying to manage a business and I think we feel like that's the right thing to do. And our hope is that they'll recognize that we're looking out for them and that they'll be there for us in the future. Cause I think this is a longer relationship thing. This isn't the end.
Sure.
It's really just the beginning. And so, we believe you kind of, it's one of those things, just feel you do the right thing. And we've had some great partners today that we offered that up and they said like, no, like we can't even believe you're offering this. That's so great. Like it's just it's a cool time. It's not the end of it. This won't be the last crazy thing that happens in the world. And just like COVID, like we'll get through it. We'll be better and good things will come out of it in the end. So that's sort of my take.
Well, I appreciate you making some time for me. On a side note, we were at so my youngest is playing baseball for the first time this fall.
Yes.
And it's amazing. And it's over in Mason is where we play every week. And so every week whoever shows up to his baseball game to watch him, I joke that he plays banana ball. He doesn't actually play baseball. He just stands on the base and he dances the whole time. Yes. He has no idea what's going on. Ball. It's amazing. And afterwards, we go and we celebrate his latest banana ball excursion. And we go eat somewhere. And for the first time, we had a bunch of people together and like, where can we go that we can fit all of us in and we can go and we can have some food and have a couple beers and sit out in the sun. And I'm like, you guys, we got to go to 50 West. And the love that every single person had for 50 West was unmatched to any place that I think I've taken them to in a very long time. Everybody loved it. My kids had sand in every crevice you can imagine.
I'm sorry. I know it.
It was great. It was so good. Everybody was so happy. And like we had just like the week before, we were trying to figure out what vacations for next year. We were trying to plan. I hate going to the beach. I hate beaches. I think it's the worst vacation you can possibly plan. It's just hot and sandy. And I'm like, we don't have to go to a beach. Like we can take the kids anywhere, and as long as there's some place that they can go sit and play in sand, they don't care. They don't need an ocean. And we were sitting there at 50 West and they're in the sand having this blast. And I'm like, look, like these kids right now are on vacation. Like this is the best moment of their life. And they've got these big, stupid grins on their faces. And I was proven right. So, if you haven't been to 50 West, get to 50 West. Get there this week and go buy some sunflower.
No, we've come a long way in craft beer, and we've been criticized for that environment before. But that's ultimately what we wanted. I mean, we saw this opportunity and what you're enjoying with your family. Like that's what we're building. That's what we keep aiming for. We want to continue to grow the beverage category. So I think that's something else that we're looking at is how do we create more, more occasions, more experiences, as far as beverages are concerned with on site, both with beer and liquor. And we're looking into sodas and all sorts of fun stuff. So
Yeah.
thanks for the plug there. Awesome. Nothing better. Where did you guys play? Where do you guys play the baseball games?
It's over at like the early childhood something or other. It's like this weird little league called I9 Sports. Shout out to I9
Oh
Sports.
yeah.
They do this
Shout out.
incredible job. The practice is right before the game, so you don't have like practices like during the week and stuff. You just go on Saturday, you go have practice, play the game, go home. Kids are happy. It's so good.
It's I9's amazing. My kids participated in their basketball program for all three of mine, and it was a great way to get them into sports. So
Yeah.
kudos to you for that. And
my boy's he's a little short. I don't know the basketball's his thing, but man, he's a good banana ball player.
Don't you give up. No, I don't know how interested people are in kids. The way I kind of look at it is, this kind of like this is a really good life story from today for me. So this is a major day, right? Like there's announcements coming up. I've been like not sleeping. I'm trying to plan in my head, what's my step? How do we do this? Where do we go? And so, the announcement's out. I got people calling me all over. We got legislators we're talking to. We got media we're talking to. And my wife calls me. My business is like, we're looking at it like, hey, how are we going to survive? How do we make this work? What, you got all those crazy questions running through your head. Well, today, my daughter got cut from the basketball team. And so it was, my wife called me and I had to come home. I think the hardest thing I had to do today was have a conversation with my daughter about that process of like, hey, you gave everything you had, but you didn't make the team. But that's not a bad thing. It doesn't stop there. You got to look at that as this is your time to decide. If you want to be a basketball player, you go out and you practice and you work hard and you set your goal for making the team the next year. And I think that's one of the best parts about, when the world gets crazy. At the end of the day, like there was a lot of major things that happened today, but I think, that lesson I got to teach my daughter was probably, it's the same lesson that I'm trying to talk to you about as it relates to don't get down about this thing. It's like, there's bigger things in life. They may not seem like it's just there. And so I hear you talking about your kid, hey, he's too small. I don't know basketball. Do not give up on that. I have a son that was cut from a basketball team. He's arguably the best player in his grade now, and he's taller than me. And that was not the case when he was 8 years old.
I love it.
If they're interested in it, just provide the opportunity. And maybe basketball doesn't work out, but who knows? Maybe one day they'll be running a brewery, and the governor will shut the whole thing down on them, and they're gonna have to figure out how to overcome.
One of my favorite things in the world about parenting is that, though, like no matter what is happening like in the world around you, no matter like what work was like that day or what's going on in politics or any, like you come home at the end of the day and like there's something else that is happening that is like that if you tell some random stranger, it's like, well, that's not a big deal, like that's nothing compared to all of this other stuff. But in the world of your kids, this is it. Like this is the center of the universe. This is one of the worst things that has ever happened, and you got to deal with it. And like every day you have to deal with something like that. It can be that you don't have the right kind of pasta in the cabinet for dinner, and it's a catastrophe, and you've got to figure out how to work your way through that. And it really like centers you every single day and reminds you of kind of the how you're supposed to deal with things and how they relate to the world around you. It's
you're only as happy as your saddest kid. That's one of the lessons I learned as a parent. Is so it just was that was a good thing. And shout out to my team. I had to tell them, I had to run out the door at about. I go, guys, I'm sorry, I got to get out of here. I go, my daughter just got cut by the basketball team. I got to I'll be available. I'm on my phone, but I got to go have this conversation with her because this is to date. This is probably the most devastating thing that's happened to her. And I got to go, talk her through it so that one day, when she's sitting in a position where something bad happens to her, she can look at it, find the positive, and then figure out how to drive through it. So I think it's kind of where we are today. And I'm going to tell you this. I think these next I don't know what's going to happen in these next 60, 90 days, but I can promise you it will be very exciting. There's a lot that's about to come out. There's a lot of, I don't know what it is, but I can tell you when extreme measures are taken, that's where you're going to see some really unbelievable things. So I would just tell everybody to get excited and follow it, get involved, and be a part of it, because it doesn't happen all the time. Like this is not something that happens every day. So
support the places you love.
Go support your
I feel like I
retailer.
should end everything that I talk about these days. Just support the places you love, because they are relying on you. And without people supporting, none of this exists. So get out there and support the places you love. Bobby, thank you.
And
I appreciate you making some time for me.
Thanks for supporting me. I mean, giving us a platform to talk about this. And
of course.
You've been amazing to the industry, and you really, I can't thank you enough. So
thank you. I feel a little better about it. Still don't feel great about where things are, or why they're there, or what it means, but I feel a lot better than I did before. Huge thank you to Bobby and to 50 West and Sunflower for making some time to make me feel better. Hopefully it makes you feel a little better too. Hopefully you know what you need to do about all of this, because you need to, or we need to, express our displeasure for how this all went down. I don't like it, and we definitely need to make that known. Write to your congressman, tell them that you are not happy and that it needs to be done differently. And in the meantime, get out to the places that you love, especially the small places, and buy some of these products. Bring them home, put them in your fridge, share them with your friends and your family, and support the places you love, because that's sometimes that's all that we as consumers can do. Support the places you love.